Mr. Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm recusing myself from item 41 because I'm unclear who is working on this project.
You're unclear who's working on it?
Correct.
Wow, okay.
Just to be safe.
Just in case, right? All right, any other specials members? All right, while the clerk is organizing our items to vote on, I want to turn it over to Council District 3. I'm sorry, for Council District 8, which looks like a 3. We have a testimonial this morning from folks who work at Lupita's Bakery. This is in regard to what we will do every morning, that we're here until the siege of our city in the name of immigration enforcement is done. So we'll invite them to tell their story at this time.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abel Diaz, and I represent a bakery, a pastry shop here in South Central Los Angeles, and a chain of banquet halls for events with more than 40 years of serving our community in Los Angeles and San Bernardino County. We have been part of the heart of this neighborhood, working hard every day, enduring difficult times, and contributing to the local economy with honesty and effort. We face many challenges over the years. The riots, fires in 1992, the COVID pandemic in 2020, and now immigration riots. There are spreading fear in our streets and deeply affecting our families and businesses. Since these riots began, our sales have dropped between 30 and 40%, and not only in our storefront, our products are also sold wholesale in supermarkets. And there too, the sales have fell dramatically. People are afraid. They don't want to go out. They don't want to take the risk. And it is a legitimate fear because we know that any moment they can be separated from their families simply for not having papers. The fear has also reached our banquet halls. Some families have canceled their events because they are afraid to get in public. Others have been forced to cancel because a loved one has already been taken by ICE, leaving them unable to continue paying for their celebration. This is not fair. The president promised to deport criminals and gang members, but that is not what is happening. What we are seeing is the arrest of workers, fathers and mothers, people who have been here for decades, who have paid taxes, who have contributed to the community, to the country, in every possible way, except for having a document that has been denied to them for years. I personally know many members of our community who have been living in the country for 25 years, honest, hardworking people who only ask for an opportunity. But instead of that opportunity, today they face the fear of being turned away from their families, from their children, from their homes, their entire lives. Here is where is the humanity? Where are the solutions? To see children crying because their parents don't come back from work. To see families broken apart by political decisions. It's something that breaks the heart of all of us who have one. This is not the country that was promised to us. Today, I raise my voice, and not only for my business, which is suffering economically, but for an entire community that is being hurt and criminalized unjustly. We keep the local economically alive. We serve with love, dignity, and we deserve respect, protection, and a fair opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And a great bakery in the heart of the 8th District at Florence and Western. If you're ever in the neighborhood, please, please, please stop by. Lupita's Bakery and Banquet Hall.
Council may move on to public comment, sir.
All right. Madam Clerk, Mr. City Attorney, if we can prepare us for public comment. And just for the audience, we will take public comment for 30 minutes, so we will stop at 11 a.m.
Mr. Herman, if you are not ready, we will move on to the next speaker and we can come back to you. So I know you stay for the entire meeting. There's no reason for you to bring all of your stuff up here, just to move your stuff back to the pews later on. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Stop discriminating against me, asshole. Item number 1, you fucking dog-eating, peanut head, pimple face. This has to do with the sidewalk. Categorically, Scientology has a sidewalk, belongs to us, the public. But yet we cannot use a particular brick-laid sidewalk because asshole attorney there.
No, this is not on the agenda. You need to speak to the dedication discussed in item 1. If you do not do so, I'm going to move you to general public comment. This is your final warning. Speak to the item specifically.
I'm on item number 1.
Speak to the item.
Okay, you asked for it. Fucking communication from Armando Herman, the fucking engineer, for the first consideration of the motherfucker relative dedication, everybody, of the goddamn.
You've exhausted your 1 minute on item 1. Please move on to another item.
What? I can't finish.
You have exhausted your 1 minute on item 1. Please move on to another item.
There's other items, asshole. Relax. I understand that. 46, for example, is that one on the issue? Fucking Juju Bloomfield and that dumb Sambo up there. Due to the windstorm and extreme weather, like the whether or not this asshole attorney under the Los Angeles Administrative Code fucking cares about smoking scanning me. All we're trying to do is alert the American people that Donald J. Trump has the answers for fire and the weather system that's going on in California. That's shut it down. Shut the fucking system down. You're wasting money, you're fraudulently stealing, and you're still a big head, animal-eating dog herder. Now into my other item. 49 South Lorena Boulevard, rent escrow. Wah, 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 wah. Am I on topic, Mr. Attorney, for the record? Am I on topic? So I must
This is your
be
opportunity
right.
to address the council, not the audience.
I'm addressing Donald J. Trump, MAGA.
Okay, not on the agenda. You have 1 minute for general public comment. You have been warned multiple times. You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Brandenburg versus Ohio. You're all familiar with Brandenburg versus Ohio. We plan to send the Jews back to Israel to save America. How do we do that? We get our new support by our now outstanding president, Donald J. Trump, for the record, to save all of you from the conditions of what...
So again, Mr. Herman, this is your last warning. This is your opportunity to address the body, not the members of the audience. If you do it again, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time. Okay, hold his time really quick. This is your first and only... This is your first and only warning. Do not disrupt this meeting. You are interrupting my instructions to you. Mr. President, he is continuing to disrupt this meeting and is eligible for removal pursuant to Rule 7, Rule 12, if you would like.
Fuck you, Mr. Attorney. I'm on topic. It's my time.
Mr. City Attorney, this person has violated a number of council rules, at least 7 and 12, so he is ordered removed from this meeting.
Correct, and he has
immediately.
And he's been warned multiple times.
Yes, and you've been warned multiple times.
22 seconds,
And thank you for the free hats. All right, let's go to our next speaker.
I would like to speak to general public and then 1, 2, and maybe others, and hopefully with the council people paying attention this time.
So let me repeat the items that are open for public comment because I understand the previous experience might have caused us to forget which ones were open for public comment. So for everyone, the items that are open for public comment on the agenda are items number 1, items 45 through 53. So again, item number 1 and items 45 through 53. Mr. Herman, you have been ordered removed from this meeting. You've been provided multiple warnings. Get out of this council chamber. Welcome to council, everyone. Again, thank you for your patience. To the extent it wasn't clear, the items that are open for public comment are items number 1 and items 45 to 53. So I'll give you 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Before you begin, item number 2, I know you requested it, was continued. That's why it's not open for public comment. So go ahead. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general.
Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay, first on number 1, it sounds like you're giving property back to the city, which I like to see. That makes me happy. Because, you know, I've been coming here for over a year now talking about L. Ron Hubbard Way, which is public property. But you guys act, and the Scientology acts as if it's not. They act as if they own it because they have an R permit. They believe that that's the same thing as a street vacation. So I am hoping that this trend towards taking back city property continues, and that you continue it with L. Ron Hubbard Way by revoking their R permit, since they have been illegally, you know, using, you're not allowed, it's against your laws. You guys made the laws that there's no religious exemptions for underpaid workers, and people are making $47 a week to work on that street, okay, when it comes to these permits that you guys give them. And that's illegal by your own standards, and you're not enforcing it. They're also doing, their security. They're not in contract with you guys to do security on that street. But because they have this R permit, they believe they can. And we had somebody, a survivor of Scientology, assaulted for the second time.
I'm going to ask that you move on to another item, please. Or you
Okay.
can speak to this during general.
Okay, well, with all the housing ones, right? I wanted number 2, so I'm a little bit behind. But with the housing stuff, okay. Oh, and shout out to Smoke and Scam. I'm glad that they're watching all this. And the thing about the housing is that there's been a lot of mistakes made. Okay, I don't really feel that everything is really being done. You had court cases wondering what's going on with all the money. There's all kinds of stuff. There's people that really need help that don't seem to be getting help. I've seen people, I've known somebody who came to me for help, and they're told, well, you can't do this program. You're not homeless enough. Is what she's living in her car, but because she's living in her car and not in an encampment, she can't get certain help. Like, it's just so convoluted and confusing. I wish you guys could just get it together. Now, is the one with the emergency, is that available? Because I would like to discuss that.
So the homelessness emergency is what you just spoke to, because that's
The
the
fire?
only housing item on. Yes, the fire one is there. Go ahead.
Okay, the fire emergency. Yes, we had a horrible, fire situation that I also, no offense, feel that you guys had didn't really handle very properly. Neither did the mayor, neither did the, everything. And so, yes, the emergency continues, but you guys need to get a better grip on everything. You guys need to let them rebuild. Why can't people get the permits to rebuild what they want to? Why do they have to be forced into building what they don't want? It's just so ridiculous. It doesn't feel like you're here for the people. And I also want to say, Mr. Lee, if you're ever listening, I couldn't be here yesterday to support your motion to
General public
go
comment?
against 79. Okay, public comment?
Yep. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Okay, all right. I asked you guys not to go to Scientology's National Night Out, and I'm thankful that the police, fire, everyone didn't, because otherwise you'd be opening yourselves up to a lawsuit, because what they did is they did not allow me to go in. It is open to the public. It stated open to the public, but I just went in and I was immediately rushed by guards who were, to tell me to to leave, and I'm not welcome there. That's called viewpoint discrimination. So luckily, since you guys didn't go, and I don't even know if you gave permits for that, then you're not held liable. But you need to continue. You need to realize that's what they're doing. Every time, Mr. Martinez, Soto Martinez, that you're helping them out and you're giving them these, letting them keep their R permits and stuff, you are permitting viewpoint discrimination. I don't go and disrupt. I'm not a disruptive person. I have a right to go and not like what they do and still attend a public event that's related to,
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
My name is Jose Miguel Ruiz. I'm the Executive Director of Cultiva LA. We actively grow in 10 acres of community farming. And I'm here today to thank all of you, but in particular, Councilmember Hernandez, for investing in green spaces. 3 weeks ago, the MacArthur Park got raided by law enforcement, but today is a win for item 6. We get to bring a healthy community garden to the Pico Union neighborhood, where there will be resources on tenant protections, growing food, but most important, as a social worker, is teaching the next generation how to grow local food. So for that, I thank you, and I want to, again, thank all the members. It has taken 5 years to get to this point, and also Parks and Recreation that have been leading the way. So thank you, Parks and Rec and City of LA.
Ok, buenos días a todos y todas.
Good morning,
Mi nombre
everybody.
es José Félix Larios. Solamente quiero darle las gracias por el punto número 6, número 25-0767, especialmente a la concejal Eunice Hernández por todo su excelente trabajo para llegar a esto y seguir trabajando en nuestra comunidad. Muchas gracias.
I came here only to thank Council Member Hernandez for point number 6, 2507 and 67. Thank you for your work.
Yes.
Good morning, Officer Ilariaga. My name is Sean Michaels. For item number 45, is about the local emergency, about housing and homelessness. Well, there is a reason that we are having a homeless crisis. And then the reason is our council president, Harris-Dawson, continue to invest billions of money of their scam, fraudulent, homeless complex, homeless industry, and the so-called non-profit homeless project. Yes, billions of money thrown away to release all of the criminal gangbangers. Billions of money throw them away to helping people change their penis to their vagina, change their vagina back to their penis over and over again. That's the reason why when people asking the city council for more money for homeless, and then our council president has absolutely no money. Now, let's move on to item number 46. It's about a local emergency about the fire on January 7th. There is a reason why we have like 2,000 firefighter shortage right now. There's a reason why we have 5,000 LAPD officer shortage right now, because our council member, our council president continue to focusing how can we make it cheap and affordable to change your penis to your vagina, to change your vagina back to your penis, and you do that once every year, twice a year, 3 times a year, and over again, because our council president wants to support LGBT. And I was wondering that when our council president will become LGBT, when does our council president will change your penis to your vagina, and then when does our council president will actually save the fire, will actually have more firefighter and have more police officer. Now let's move on to item number 53. Item number 53 is that our council president wants to make sure that everybody is sitting, lying, sleeping, storing, using some sort of a public sidewalk. Everybody became a criminal. Yes, I'm very lucky because when I was sleeping on the sidewalk, my nurse Dana took me back to her house. So that's why I have a place to stay. But right now, I'm aware 100,000 homeless people in city of Los Angeles, they do not have a bed. They don't have a home to go back to. They do not have, not every single homeless person is lucky as me to have a Dana can take me back to her house and house me right there. So I want to make sure everybody knows that our council president continue to criminalize every single people sleeping on the street. But why we are punishing people sleeping on the street is because you failed 100,000 Los Angelinos. You failed them. You do not allow them a chance to have a house. You do not allow them a chance to have a job. You do not allow them have a chance to continue to pursue their American dream. You only care releasing all the criminal gangbangers. You only care provide more services to the illegal gangbangers. You only care and meet and continue to provide whatever services to illegal gangbangers. And then I want to make sure that to shout out to our council member Smoking Scan, and then our future council member Spindler, and then I also want to thank my friend Dana. Maybe I will be deported by the President Harris-Dawson. Maybe I will be deported by ICE, but Dana, I left my heart at the Santa Monica Brazilian barbecue for you to pick up my heart anytime you want. Thank you, Dana.
Good morning. My name is Terry Hara, president of the Terminal Islanders Association. Today's supportive vote by the full City Council will help preserve the last 2 remaining buildings that represents what was once a thriving fishing village, the rich history and legacy of 3,000 Japanese and Japanese Americans that lived and worked on Terminal Island. They were directly responsible to help create the nation's tuna industry, but all that changed with the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Their lives were destroyed and forced off the island into horse stables and concentration camps because of hate and paranoia. I ask for your support of the HCM designation, Terminal Island Furusato, Tuna Street, for the history and legacy of Terminal Island. Thank you.
Good day, honorable council members. My name is Dr. Sophia Arman. I'm the co-chair of the California MENA Civil Rights Coalition, and the ED of Armenian American Advancement Network, a civil rights and immigrant rights organization. I come to you today on behalf of over 20 MENA, Middle Eastern and North African constituency-based organizations that make up our coalition, the first of its kind actually in the state. I'm also a longtime resident and a data equity specialist in our city. We are here today urging you to support AB 91, the California MENA Inclusion Act. The city of Los Angeles is home to the largest MENA community in the United States, from Tehran Angeles to Little Armenia to Little Arabia, Assyrian churches, Sudanese community organizations, and Kurdish cultural centers. We urge you today to support AB 91 because it means being seen. Thank you so much.
My name is Bill Fujioka. I was here just the other day. I'm the chair of the Board of Trustees for Japanese American National Museum. I came here today in support of Councilmember McOsker's motion regarding the 2 historic buildings on Terminal Island. What's important is that this community, in the Japanese American community, we have many enclaves. I happen to come from Boyle Heights, which is one. Terminal Island is special, folks. In 1942, after the Executive Order 9066 was signed, that community, the residents and the businesses were virtually destroyed. All of them were destroyed, except for the 2 buildings we're talking about today. It's important to pass this motion to ensure the history of this community is preserved. At the Japanese American National Museum, we have over 20,000 artifacts. Our most important artifact is our historic building because it represents the strength of the community and that we preserve through the atrocities and the injustice of World War II. Today's motion is important.
Soy organizadora de inquilinos de Colectivo Poder Comunitario y estoy aquí para pedirles que actualicen la ley Larso, ya que es una ley que necesitamos actualizar porque nuestros miembros están sufriendo acosos y desalojos.
Permítame. I am Sara Garcia, a community organizer from Community Power. I'm here today to ask you to update LARSO, the law, because our members are suffering.
Como se los repito siempre que vengo aquí, la vivienda es un mercado para los pequeños y grandes corporaciones.
As I have always repeated every time that I come here, the housing, it's a market, a small market for the people who have no money and a big market for those who have the money.
Y aún habiendo ley de control de renta, hay mucho abuso.
And even though we have laws to regulate the rent, there are a lot of abuses.
¿Por qué? Porque la vivienda es un mercado para los negociantes ahora de vivienda, ¿verdad? Vivienda es un negocio.
Because the housing is a market for those who deal with the housing.
Yo no pediría un control de renta nada más de 3% para viviendas habitadas. Pediría un control de 3% de viviendas no habitables para que evitara mucho desalojo.
I would not ask only a rent control of 3% for those for those living places that have people inside, but 3% even those for those rooms that are empty.
Pero a veces hay que ir por pasos para mendigar algo diferente para nuestras comunidades.
Sometimes we have to go step by step so that we can beg something for our communities.
Por ahora necesitamos que actualicen la ley Larso a un 3% y no aumentos a personas adicionales.
That's why we now need to update the 3% law regarding LARSO and no further increases.
Due to continuous refusals of accountability, no transparency, systematic abuse, gross negligence, and a variety of deaths, the men's central jail needs to be closed immediately. All of the juvenile detention centers need to be closed immediately for the same reasons. To further, get rid of the California Police Officers' Bill of Rights. It protects lewd and abusive officers. and gives them an above-the-law status. It is a threat to our society, the common good, and a contagion in our neighborhoods.
Good morning. My name is Basha Jamil, and I'm here on behalf of the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE LA, and as a proud member of the California MENA Civil Rights Coalition. We're asking you to support AB 91, the Middle Eastern and North African Inclusion Act. For too long, MENA communities have been rendered invisible in state data because there is no distinct MENA category, meaning MENA individuals are counted as white. And this misclassification erases their realities and leaves them invisible when it comes to policy, funding, and civil rights protections. Our communities face unique barriers. Immigrants need language access. Refugees are struggling to rebuild. Muslims experience Islamophobia and surveillance, yet none of this is captured in state data. AB 91 is a simple but historic fix. It ensures MENA Californians are accurately counted in state demographic data. It already passed the state assembly unanimously, and so now we respectfully urge you to support AB 91 and stand with the MENA community. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bill Weeks. I have a general comment on item 22, the Terminal Islanders.
So you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. I thank you for everything you people do. I appreciate it. We have an opportunity here that's historic. We can have a monument to a time when government overstepped its boundaries. A monument that is important now more than ever. Let's do this. I would like to see a quote by Justice Matthew Tobriner added to this monument when they ruled on the Murguia decision in 1975, which says that you cannot, well, it says neither the federal nor state constitution countenances the singling out of an invidiously selected class for special prosecutorial treatment, whether that class consists of black or white, Jew or Catholic, Irishman or Japanese, United Farm Worker or Teamster. If an individual, okay, thank you.
Los Angeles is a city of renters, and rent is more unaffordable than ever. We need to do more to prevent the homeless crisis from worsening, especially in the wake of increasing natural disasters and economic uncertainty. Despite months of warning and a clear economic report showing the formula is unfair to tenants, Council continues to delay a vote to update the city's decades-old rent control rules. As a result, LA renters, many of them low-income and immigrants, are stuck with unnecessary rent hikes during both a political crisis and a housing and affordability crisis. We can't let city leaders prioritize landlords and developers over protecting the 60% of Angelenos who rent. The biggest problem facing the city of Los Angeles and its people is housing. People across the economic spectrum, from working class, lower income, middle class, all struggle to find safe, affordable, clean, private housing with a reasonable distance of their job sites. Cap the rent at 3% and 60% of inflation. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Anisha Williams. I'm a part of the California Fast Food Workers Union, and I also work at Jack in the Box. As you know, yes, we have had heat exhaustion in Los Angeles, and that's why I'm speaking. Working in the fast food industry, working in the fast food business, period, it gets extremely hot in the kitchen. And I have seen firsthand workers get very dizzy from the heat. It can get up to 90 degrees up in the kitchen. I had to get a towel and run cold water on the towel to give to the cook in the kitchen so she can cool off because it was so hot. I was afraid that she was gonna pass out. If we fall out in the kitchen, I don't know what to do. So that's why it's so important that you guys help us pass our ordinance here today. And we will be having reports to you guys' office. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Becky Dennison with Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles and a member of the Keep LA Housed Coalition. I'm here this morning with others in the coalition to urge you to take action to reduce rent burden for tenants in LA, too many of whom are coming through our doors with evictions. Changes to the rent stabilization ordinance have been pending for far too long, and the tenant majority in LA is demanding this much-needed change. The RSO is one of the most important tools that this council has to protect tenants and also balance the playing field between tenants and landlords, especially in this time of all of the federal attacks. Annual rent increases are harming tenants who simply cannot keep up, but the data shows that landlords are doing fine because they recapture rent through tenant turnover. So the time is now to take action on all of the Keep LA Housed recommendations, fully fund rental assistance, and especially cap the rent at 3%. We urge agendizing this item ASAP. Thank you.
All right, I find the constant work on this council's behalf preventing the construction of housing despicable. Today's docket floored me with the amount of numbers of the criminalization of homelessness and poverty. I was taken aback by how many motions are up that make it a crime to be poor. And also, when the next time you see someone on the street that's unhoused, y'all need to take your responsibility in that person's circumstance. I hope you hear my voice in your head reminding you that it's your fault that that person is on the street. It's astonishing. Your behavior is unreal.
Next speaker.
Good morning. Thank you, members, for your time and attention this morning. My name is Corey Alt. I live in Little Tokyo, Council District 14. I'm here to urge your support for single-state reform in Los Angeles. I'm a single-issue voter on the issue of housing production. I'd like to thank my representative on this council, Member Jurado, for her leadership on this issue. As she does, I care deeply about protecting tenants from displacement in my neighborhood and restoring affordability for those already displaced. To achieve those goals, we need more homes. This proposal would allow more homes to be built, helping lower the dramatic rent burdens placed on families like mine, and helping to allow more of your constituents to live inside. With that in mind, I urge a yes vote. Thank you.
I'm Paul Hiroshi Boye, Term Islanders Association board member, descendant, and chair of the Coalition to Protect, Rehabilitate, or Reconstruct the 2 remaining buildings for an adaptive reuse. Today can be remembered as a truly momentous occasion that would be an important step towards significantly honoring the legacy of the Term Island Japanese immigrants and the Japanese American children. We will be extremely grateful for the LA City Council's unanimous support of the HCM designation. The designation of the Term Island Furusato Tuna Street buildings as a historic cultural monument will facilitate these historic buildings being recognized as essential to American history. Their stories of immigration, resilience, and community will be formally commemorated, protected, and passed down to future generations. Thank you.
Good morning, Council. My name is Andrew Salimian. I'm the Director of Advocacy at the Los Angeles Conservancy. We're asking you today to support the designation of the Terminal Island buildings, Furusato, as a historic cultural monument. For too long, these places have been overlooked, and I think that's true for many of our immigrant communities, our diverse communities in Los Angeles. It's taken decades for us to actually recognize the importance of this place, but we see the echoes of what happened at the site throughout the city today. I think you all see that relevance. I want to specifically thank Council Member McCosker's office and his dedicated staff, specifically Axel Palacios, for getting us here. I want to thank the Port of LA for working with us, and for the Terminal Islander Association for leading this charge and being the stewards of the site that their families helped create, and we hope to keep it on this planet for another generation. Thank you.
Item 22. I want to thank the Terminal Islanders for their years of dedication and advocacy and hard work and keeping the spirit alive to get us to today. Members, I know we've talked about this before. It is more important today than ever before, and it was certainly important leading up to today. In the early 1900s, Terminal Island, which was also known back then as East San Pedro, was a Japanese fishing village. Japanese families came to East San Pedro and innovated tuna fishing in Southern California. And they proceeded the great Croatian and Italian tuna fishermen, also great at their trade and their craft. They proceeded, they innovated. These Japanese families on Terminal Island in East San Pedro brought a vibrancy to the island and to their own community. And by the 1940s, there were about 3,000 Japanese immigrants and Japanese Americans by right of their birth who resided on the island. And the events of Pearl Harbor changed everything in 1941. Even before Executive Order 9066, Terminal Island began to be cleared of the rightful inhabitants, residents of East San Pedro. And by April of the year following the executive order, the island was entirely cleared and folks were moved to concentration camps, as our tragic history has told us. And that island became property of the Department of Defense and later became properties for the Port of Los Angeles. Virtually every evidence of this great, beautiful, vibrant community, whether it was temples or schools or houses, businesses, was eliminated, was razed to the ground, except for two buildings that remain today. I grew up in San Pedro, and my birth was separated just by a little over 20 years from the horrific events of the internment camps and the clearing of the island. But I grew up with my father and my mother and my grandparents who all remember the days that folks, community members, did not show up for school, did not show up at practice, did not show up at work, did not show up in the community, because it was a beautifully integrated community with students coming over on the ferry every day to go to Dana Junior High School or San Pedro High. And I was raised with this sort of the sadness and the shock that generations before me expressed. Of course, once removed from the tragedy of this event. And I did grow up with Japanese Americans who would remind me of the story, remind me that Terminal Island was what it was. It's a vibrant community that was snatched away. And one of the tragic ironies is that as properties became terminals and became a prison and became a Coast Guard station on Terminal Island, that Coast Guard station, which is out on the farthest point towards the ocean, is a very place today where 200 to 250 ICE agents stage every single day to prepare for raids across Southern California that we know from other testimony are in complete violation of the restraining orders and the rule of law in the United States. And to think of that tragic irony, we have the events of the 1940s, and then a community of generations of Terminal Islanders who are trying to protect that memory. And thank goodness they are protecting that memory, because it is a lesson for today. It is a lesson for today, and it's a tragic irony that this very property, some of this very property, is being used to commit similar violations of constitutional principles, of people's due process rights, of people's autonomy over their own bodies. Here's the good news, that the Terminal Islanders, working with the community, working with our office, working with the Port of Los Angeles, has brought us to this day where those last two buildings that have not been torn down, they were used for dry goods and grocery goods. They are on Tuna Street, appropriately, on the island, in the middle of the island, are still up. The buildings are in disrepair, but they are still there. And we've had a chance to walk through them. They need some work, but they still evoke the memories of what that village was. And today we get the chance to designate as an historic monument each of those buildings and create the leverage that we need. We've talked about leverage, the leverage that we need to make sure that the buildings are restored, are protected, and can be a more complete evidence and memory, a living memory for visitors of the great Japanese fishing village that was in East San Pedro on Terminal Island. And I'm so grateful to the Terminal Islanders for your perseverance and for being here and for being always present and always ready to say, let's stick up for our history. So members, I know that it's an easy ask, and I'm grateful to you for that. I'm going to ask for an aye vote, and I'm going to ask that we preserve these last two buildings as a memory of what was, of the tragedy of 1941, and a reminder today that we should not let anything like this be relived. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. McCosker. And I want to join Mr. McCosker in requesting an aye vote and make an additional request to Mr. McCosker's request for an aye vote, and that is for everybody who has not been to the site to visit it. I had occasion to go there over the recess, and it is one of the most moving and spiritual experiences and places you can be anywhere in the city of Los Angeles. You literally can feel the energy left from what happened there and what people have refused to forget, as much as history over these years has tried to erase it. And we're doing this today. Yesterday, the President of the United States is saying our museums talk too much about people's oppression, and we should stop talking about slavery and stop talking about the internment and stop talking about all those other things, and we should just say how great America is. And here, we're saying America's great because of our stories and because we've overcome these things and because we've been through them, and it's because we've been through them that we know how dangerous it is to go back. So again, thank you so much, Mr. McCosker. This is a big, big deal. And everybody, when you have a chance, you ought to get down there to see this site. It is truly one of the places that makes Los Angeles special. All right, with that, we'll open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 aye.
All right, congratulations, everybody. Forthwith, urgently,